Everyone thought the Seahawks season was over week 1, but it's not. The crowd was popping. The offense is good. The defense keeps getting better. And this team is more than all right. They're pretty decent. And we had all these injuries against the Carolina Panthers and still found a way to win. Geno Smith was phenomenal in play action. The receivers were good. Jake Bobo caught a touchdown. Zach Charbonnet, another rookie, was truck sticking people. Kenneth Walker went off over 140 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns, playing great. The defense was a lot better. You had Jaron Reed playing really well with some big sacks. You had Devin Witherspoon playing really well, a rookie who a lot of people complained about for a while when Jalen Carter was playing good for the Eagles, and then you had, Devin Witherspoon not playing week 1, but he played well as well. And I think that's what's so important about this week. The crowd caused a lot of false starts. The quarterback pressure was there. And yeah, you might say it was against Andy Dalton. Well, guess what? I actually think it was a harder game today against Andy Dalton than it would be against a rookie quarterback having to play his first game in Seattle with that crowd, with Pete Carroll and their coaching staff, who's very good against young quarterbacks. So we played a veteran. They're pretty good. Like a guy with like Andy Dalton can make an offense move, and you saw that today. And on top of all of it, we had so many injuries that we were dealing with. We were not even close. And I mean not even close. Like our best corner, who might be our best player on defense, not playing. Offensive linemen, our 2 best offensive linemen are still out. There's a lot of injuries on this team. And we still found out a way to go out there and win. Now, the first half wasn't pretty. Don't get me wrong. Having 3 field goals down 13-12 at home is not the way you want to, not the way you want to go out. Sorry, 4 field goals. And you started the game with 5 straight field goals of 15-13. You're like, well, this offense is not looking very good. But it was a little slow starting. They got there eventually, and they ended up winning the game pretty definitively. Now, I know the Panthers scored at the end of the game, but this was not the type of game where you were freaking out at the end. We had a good feeling the Seahawks were going to end up winning this game. Now, I think that's another big part of this whole puzzle that we should be pretty comfortable about. When the Seahawks lost game 1, everyone was acting like the season's over. This Pete Carroll, fire him. This happens every year. Clint hurt, fire the defensive coordinator. I don't know how we're going to do this. Geno sucks again. This is how everyone talks. But at the end of the day, I don't understand. Maybe you don't watch the Seahawks enough that the Seahawks have up and down games. It's just like, I don't care who the quarterback is, who's on the offense, the defense, the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator. That's what happens. If you're a Seahawks fan, you know it. It happens like that. We have up and down games, and you can never, ever avoid them. Now, to go from week 1, where it was disastrous, this team's over, all that jazz, to, hey, we might be 3-1 if we beat the Giants next week. And then we go into a bye week, an early bye week that would have sucked considering it early in the season, like if you had no injuries. But now that we have injuries, it's like, hey, if we can win next week, 3-1 with the bye week, get healthy, bring offensive linemen back, get our best corner back, get our best cornerback back. That's a tongue twister. All that can happen, and the Seahawks would be in a way better position than you could have ever imagined. Now, we did talk about this on our podcast, me and my brother. You can find the link in the description. It's the Sports on Tap Seattle podcast. But this division is a little harder than most people realized. The Rams are better than we thought. The Cardinals are better than we thought. They almost beat the Washington Commanders and then blew a game to the Giants, but then they beat the Cowboys. They could easily be 2-1 or 3-0 after beating the Cowboys today. It's pretty crazy that they're not at least 2-1. So this whole division is better. We know the 49ers are potentially the best team in the NFL. I hate saying it, but it's true. So overall, things are looking better than we thought, despite being in a tough division, despite a rough start, despite the injuries. Everything is kind of looking up more than it is looking down now. So at the end of the day, we got to stop the fire Pete Carroll jazz and all this craziness. Now, just a quick in between the video. If you do want to support me or me and my brother's podcast and our company, you can go to sontshop.com, SONTshop.com. We had the Tyler Lockett Win Glasses t-shirt. We're getting the blue ski mask jersey, the blue ski mask after the Lions when we're getting those shirts in this week. And we're going to be doing vintage t-shirt giveaways and vintage hats, like a lot of old throwback thrifted type of stuff. If you put your email in the box at sontshop.com, SONTshop.com, Or if you buy a product to support us, you'll be entered every single week into the free giveaways for cool vintage gear. And you'll see it posted on our Twitter and everything all week when we're releasing what we're giving away. Now back to the point of the video, which is a nice win by the Seahawks. Everybody showed up and everything is looking much better than it did week 1, like I said. Now, the schedule moving forward is a lot tougher. So how do we, get to our expectations in the right spot? You're not going to expect this team, the way we lost week 1 and the way we've had some injuries, and we know we're going to be missing some pieces here and there, like Abraham Lucas is going to be out another couple weeks because he's on the IR. There's some things that are happening that we're not at our full strength all season. What is the expectations, right? A lot of people, if you had high expectations, they've probably been lowered. If you had low expectations, they might have been higher a little bit. I was discussing this on our podcast that 10-7 seems like a very fair place to be at right now. At 10-7, you can tell yourself, we might not win the division. Maybe the 49ers have one up on us. Maybe there's a couple games that, we just don't win that we should have. That just happens in Seahawks football. But 10-7 would get this team to the playoffs. So I'm just feeling a little more optimistic than after week 1, of course. Week 2, you get a nice win. Week 3, you get a nice win. And now you can look at this team and say, I definitely see how an offense like this, with a defense that can make plays when necessary, I can definitely see how this team can find their way to the playoffs, to 10 wins. And then once you're in there, you never know what can happen. Now, moving forward to next week, I will be posting a video at some point about the Giants game, but I'm going to give you my quick thoughts. The New York Giants have been very bad in primetime with Daniel Jones. I think he's like 1-11 in primetime if I saw the stat correctly on Thursday Night Football. Somehow they're coming off a lot more rest. That's one thing that we have to be aware of, that it's a little tougher for us. They played Thursday night, so they're coming off of, whatever it is, 7, 8, 9 or 10 days of rest, while the Seahawks are not coming off that many. They're going to have the 8. So, if it's Monday Night Football, they do get an extra day too. But the Giants have not been good in primetime. Daniel Jones has not been very good. Saquon Barkley was not playing this week. He didn't play, and he's probably not going to play next week because he has that high ankle sprain. So overall, the Seahawks might be in a really good position playing a Giants team that has not played up to their potential. And yeah, they beat the Cardinals the week before, but that was a quick, comeback. If they didn't have a miraculous quick comeback, they wouldn't have beat the Cardinals. And then on top of all of it, you have a situation where, this team came out on Thursday Night Football and played like crap again. So you're catching them kind of on their low of lows. And so Daniel Jones is not a very good quarterback. This team's not very good. And I think the Seahawks have a phenomenal chance to go win. Seahawks always play good in primetime games. They always find a way to show up when it matters the most. And I think they know this game is one of those games that 3-1 bye week right after, get healthy. This is one of those games that is going to matter extremely to your season, like one of those extreme implication games. With all that said, I'm going to guess it's going to be a win, and I hope it is. And I'm going to be back and break it down a little more later this week. So make sure you like, subscribe, and get on this channel at all times to make sure you do not miss a beat. Like I said, check out our podcast, check out our shop, both links in the description below. And check out my links right there. You'll see the Sammy's All Links, the Pillar account, if you want to see me on other social media in different places. I love you all for all your support. And, let's keep winning. Peace, y'all.